Perfect.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So welcome everybody to our donor conference call today, Saturday, February the 11th. I've already invited you to write in the chat where you're coming from. It's really exciting to have everyone join us. And we've got Sunga, who's a mentor from Livingston, and we've got Procedure trying to join the call. So as soon as Procedure's on, she can let us know. Procedure runs Girls Time. Here we go, let's her in. Just some basic ground rules. That's not ground rules, housekeeping, some basic housekeeping. If you're speaking, you're welcome to keep your mic on. If you're not speaking, can we ask you to please go on mute so just any background noises gets muffled out. To keep the energy alive and excitement of the school, we'd love you to use the chat feature. If you hear something that stirs your heart, write a comment. If you want to send us some emojis, do that. If you have questions, drop your questions in the chat box, and we'll answer all questions at the end of the presentation. So that's what we're wanting to do. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Wendy Berger. I've been with the Giving Circle for 10 years this year. Can't believe it's been that long. And I'm always behind the scenes. I'm never in the limelight. So this is out of my comfort zone in some ways to be here. And yes, and I live in Pretoria. That's me. And then, as I've already mentioned, we've got Devon on the line as well. And it's very dark by me because we have load shedding. Hi, Devon. And Devon also has some load shedding, so it's very dark with Devon as well. And we've got our makeshift plans to get some light going. It's rechargeables and torches and whatever else. That's part of living in South Africa. The lights go off regularly. So today, you've joined us because Priscilla is going to give us some insights into the secret sauce behind the Giving Circle. And that secret sauce is our team of dynamic mentors. And earlier this week, I came across a quote and I thought it's quite relevant for the Giving Circle. The one is, or the quote is, do your best and you might have a nice career. Bring out the best in others and you can change the world. To accomplish anything significant, you have to involve other people. That was by Bruce Cousinoff. And I really think that's what the Giving Circle has been doing. And Priscilla, as the founder, has involved mentors, she's involved team members, volunteers, friends, supporters, and together we are accomplishing something quite significant, and lives are changing, and it's quite amazing to be part of this. And we invite you to join us. You have been joining us, but continue joining us on this journey. It's very exciting. And once Priscilla has done her presentation, there's going to be an opportunity for you to ask some questions, share some comments. You can use the raise your hand feature, or you can just unmute yourself and jump in there and ask the questions you need to ask. And we really thank you for your investments into the Giving Circle. And you will see from Priscilla's presentation, there's a return on your investment, whether it's your money, your time, your energy, there is a return. And thank you so much for being part of our community. We value you, appreciate everything you do for us. So thank you so much. And Priscilla, over to you. I'm going to get the screen up and you can take the handlebars from here.
Thanks,
you can be on screen or off screen. It's up to you. If you want camera on, camera off. The mentors would be camera off because of internet and network connection. So it's all up to you. Right, so Priscilla, I'm done. Up to you.
Thank you, Wendy. Wendy holds us all together, that is for sure. She's our grounding and our glue. And I don't know how this could happen without her or this whole team of donors. And I'm really glad to see some of our longtime donors on, because I think we're so grateful for how you've supported this approach of investing and coming alongside and investing in local people. And you'll see how it's paying off in spades. So here we get going.
Yeah,
I think
we
just
can see that, all right.
All right, yes. Just a reminder to everybody, what brings us together here is the Giving Circle is about breaking the cycle of poverty. And we do it through mentorship and through empowering girls. And our focus now is in Southern Africa. So we have a secret sauce, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. Wendy's already hinted at it, but it is our mentors. And I think that when you start to learn about our mentors, you can only guess what's happening with the youth. And this is one of my greatest pleasures, is to be able to share stories about our mentors. It is the mentors that provide me with hope, inspiration for the future. And I have to say, even after all these years doing it, I've never been more inspired than I am today. And I feel so blessed to be on this journey with this community of donors and these amazing mentors. So this map is just about to get updated, but as you'll see, this is where our clubs are. They're in 3 different countries, and Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Madagascar. And each one of these marks, each one of these partners represents multiple clubs. Today, I could talk for hours about all of our mentors, each one of them with pride and that would inspire. And because of our limited time, we're just going to focus on 3. And I can see that they were to be on. We are in our rainy season, and network is having its impact. But I will, because they will at any time be more than happy to engage in conversation. And I look forward to them doing future presentations. Today, we're going to look at 2 of what we call our elder mentors, and they've been with us the longest, and they've really helped to shape our model. And a mentor who is rising up quickly as a leader, and that is Procedure. So we've got Fulani and Nika. They make a great team, and have been around some time, and then Procedure. We're going to start off with Fulani. Okay, and Wendy, can you get us there? We go. Okay, so one thing I wanted to point out here, and not all of, I don't know if everybody's aware of this, most all of our clubs are near wildlife areas, or they're near areas of natural beauty. And there's a few reasons for this. One, by empowering local people, you're also able to better protect the environment and the wildlife. And then also around these areas, some of the communities are extremely vulnerable economically. The land is not good for farming. They have issues of human wildlife coming together. And there's been displacement sometimes in creating parks or natural areas. And so for us, we see it as a real win-win all around to do this. And then also they're more easily accessible for our donors, our supporters to visit. And some of you on the call have visited. So I want to introduce you first to Fulani. And in 2014, this city girl moves to South Luangwa National Park to run South Luangwa's first girls club. And I don't know if how many of you realize the Giving Circle is a spark. We are there to, we have this vision. And back in the early days, I would go around and just see who else shared in this vision, this passion. And in Mfue, next to South Luangwa, we came upon a woman who was like, oh my gosh, I dream of this. And we came alongside and we helped ignite their first club. And then we found Fulani through our sources. And she moved into Mfue from the city in 2014. Okay, so the South Luangwa is a wildlife rich area. It's, if you haven't yet been, recommend it. And this is literally down the road from Fulani's house. This is quite a famous picture from one of the lodges in the area. And, but it makes you appreciate, I think, I mean, this isn't a common occurrence that elephants walk through a lodge. This is only at a certain time of year when the fruits are ripe and they're positioned just right at this lodge. So if everything lines up, occasionally they make this, this journey to reach their fruit. So this is Fulani down the road. She's just started her job. And, you know, she's a couple months into it, and she has this nice little house that isn't the sturdiest, but it is comfortable and protects her. And so one of the nights that she was in her home, which happens to be near some of the fruit that the elephants like, the elephants were eating away and pulled back half of her walls. And so she's there in the dark, can't do anything. I'm so impressed with her. She keeps her cool, and she gets through the challenge. And here she is, city girl in the bush. And I tell you, it showed a lot of gumption in Fulani. And welcome to Mfue, Fulani. There you can see that's her wall, and her shower is at the bottom there that for the water. Anyway, so Fulani's influence at Project Luangwa, that's where we support, and they, you know, we've started off with this one club, and then got her in, and her influence has been significant, and both in growth and her influence, this ripple effect. So you'll see in these pictures, well, she went from one girls club, she has now 3 girls clubs and 2 boys clubs, and is assisting 20 satellite clubs. And they started out in a classroom, in a library that was busy. They always had to schedule the time to get in. It was kind of crazy. Well, their program has worked so well using our, you know, with the GSGC guidelines. They were able to raise separate funds to build a safe space. And this is a beautiful safe space. Look how big it is. They even have a room for counseling room and their own toilet facilities. So she's done an amazing job. So her influence goes beyond you know, right there in Mfue. She reaches a lot of the communities around Mfue. And, you know, as I said, she provides training to about 20 teachers at primary schools in the area who run girls clubs, and they use the GSGC guidelines, which are really developed by and implemented by, you know, the mentors. And she's known as the menstrual hygiene management queen. I had no idea this was so complex. And one day to have her on talking about this is just amazing how much a girl's life is impacted by this, the taboos, and you know, with when you lack money and you're not able to have supplies for sanitary ware, you miss, like 25% of your school days. And she has taken off, and they've got almost like a small industry now of making reusable pads. This goes way beyond, their clubs. This goes out to the communities. It's helping girls all around be able to stay in school longer. And so between that and her International Day of the Girl and Menstrual Day, they have events, they draw people in and they educate. And so I think you can see her influence goes far. And it doesn't stop there. Because she's done such an amazing job with this opportunity. Again, she did not have all this experience. She had studied social work, but this was her first full-time position. And she took this opportunity, and with her passion and caring heart and gumption, she has done such an excellent job that she's been noticed. And she's been on a panel of gender and climate change and was up in Poland. And then this, as you can see here, she is presenting at the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women in New York City in 2019. So just think of the education, the inspiration that she is passing on, all from this little spark and seed that came from the support of you guys. So. And then I know some of our donors are Rotarians, and there is a Rotary in Mfue. I was really surprised to hear that, and she's just become a member. And people have noticed her, and they've started to feature her in the work in documentaries. So when we say there's a ripple effect, I hope you can feel what that means. Okay. So we're really blessed that she is so passionate about this work. She is still around, and she is really rising up to be a leader for the team of mentors. And as you can see here, this is her at our recent meetup with the mentors. She and Nika, our other elder, have cracked the code on monitoring and evaluation, and she is really here now to mentor the mentors, in addition to all her other work. So the next elder I want to talk about is Nika. Nika is located near Victoria Falls. So to get to Fulani, if you're going by road, it takes about as long to get to the US if you're flying. And he's been the instigator and the overseer of our Boys for Girls work. And he is leading this mentors network. And one thing about Nika that really stands out is this natural leadership, this servant leader that he is. Oh, there's Nika coming on now. So Nika lives near Victoria Falls, and some of you have been there. Others, I know Eva's going to be going. It's a beautiful UNESCO heritage site, just gorgeous. And if you haven't been, put it on your list. So, Vic Falls is a bustling little tourism town. It's a wonderful place to go and enjoy. And but the reality of living in a community near there is this. So this is, you can kind of see the falls here. That's about where Nika and his clubs are located. And the community, these are the communities around him. You've got the Scotch carts, you walk from homestead to homestead through the bush. Very typical, these two women, again, at home, raising these children with barely any income. And these are the traditional homes. So there's a lot of work to be done, and it's so exciting to see what Nika and his team are doing in this area. So I just want to go a little over Nika's journey. Going back, he's been with us the longest. In 2011, we met. 2012, he attended what was our first GSGC summit. And we'll go back for a second, Wendy. And he's like, what is this girls stuff? And I'm not so sure about this. Being a traditional man in that culture, it was quite uncomfortable, actually. But Nika, who he is, he went home after that, did all this research, and he went, wow, I get this. And very brave, you know, to rise up in a culture where this isn't embraced. And what he's done since then is quite astonishing. So between 2012 and 14, he worked for our partner Rose of Charity, and we have started out with girls' workshops. And he also they started introducing boys to some of the workshops, but it was pretty all girl-based. And then in 2014, we started asking, okay, what about the girls, the boys? The girls can only go so far without the boys coming along and supporting them in this journey. And so in 2015, he crafted out a road trip, and he went into up to Mfue, actually, and in Livingston, Zambia, and road tested gatherings for boys. And it was very clear, these boys were hungry for an opportunity like this. So after that, one of the things I really admire about Nika, he's very thoughtful, and he brings his head and his heart together. His caring about communities, about social work, and his ability to visualize and map out a plan. And he takes time to see, okay, what am I going to do? Because he does a number of things, and he runs a business. I mean, there's just many things that he does. And he took this sabbatical, and I said, no problem, you know, because you are the person. If we're going to do this, you are the person. And at the end of that time, he said, I'm in. And ever since he said that, it's been like, wow. In 2017, he established the Sonke Trust and set up the first boys club. And today there are 2 boys clubs, an alumni club, and a girls club on their property run by his amazing wife, Talent. They've built 2 safe spaces, and even today they're overrunneth. They have so much demand because the parents, the teachers are seeing real change in the kids, their behavior, their grades. And so he's having to deal with that issue now, but it's so special to go from, you know, starting out under a tree to having these safe spaces. One of the things they also did is they set up a veggie garden during COVID. And boy, I don't know, for those who followed it, that became a lifeline for members in the community, not only for the kids, but their parents and others in the community. And they gained such respect from that. And that's how they came together to meet and keep their clubs going at a distance while working in this garden. So he started guiding the other partners, the GSGC partners, on setting up boys for girls clubs. And today he oversees a network of 11 boys clubs in Zimbabwe and Zambia. And as I mentioned, demand is so high for this and beyond our current resources. So spread the word. This is a proven model, as you can see, and we so want to help more kids be able to receive this opportunity. And he's rising up as the GSGC Mentor Network leader, and we're so thrilled about this. Another objective of ours was to increase the capacity there and start passing the baton more and more, and couldn't be happier with what's so at the core of everybody, all of the mentors, is a deep caring for upliftment and community. And these are just some pictures that show, you know, Nika, what that, you know, it comes from the heart. And as you can see, they started out just, you know, out on the grounds next to his home. And then they created a safe space. The boys helped to build it, and there's a story behind that, and then a second safe space. So now there's room for the girls and the boys. Thank you, Wendy. So I think, you know, I was going through pictures of Nika. You know, you get to know somebody through pictures, and we've taken a fair amount over the years. He's a natural born leader and a humble leader, a humble yet strong leader. And it just shows. So anyway, we're so happy to have him on this team and leading the way. So there's so many stories that could be said from Nika's journey, but we're just going to do that introduction for some of you, update others, and then saying stay tuned. So we've got one more mentor we're going to talk about today, and that's Procedure. Some of you know her or know of her if you've seen our one film that was done last year. And so I won't spend too long on it, but it is an amazing story. And that's Procedure, who was in one of our clubs. She was one of the youth. And when she graduated, she finished her secondary school, and just quietly, she started helping other girls. She formed her own club, and we found out about it. And that's really how it works with the Giving Circle and the mentors. We find each other because, you know, this isn't a job. This is someone who carries this passion deep in them to help girls, to help their communities. And we have these shared values, and we find one another. So then she started working with girls at a local school. I tell you, that is one loud place to try to have a girls' club. And I give her so much respect for hanging in there and laying the groundwork down on this. And during this time, what we did is we had Nika mentor her. So again, we have mentors mentoring mentors, and helped her get set up with her trust and running a trust. And so it's really a neat model of how this happens. But then she took it from there, and look what's happened. This is Procedure today in a safe space that she has created. And it's quiet. And she just recently painted a lot of pink in it. So it's a wonderful place. The girls love to come. They're set up they want to start baking and sewing from there. And the girls just love to be there. And that's a really important thing, that they love to come to the clubs. And more now, and again, thank you, donors. Thank you for coming along and believing in this approach, because it's now blossoming, and we can't even keep up with what's happening with these mentors helping so many of these kids become the first in family to finish secondary, the first to finish in a manner with grades that they can qualify for university or college, and go on to trainings and internships. It's kind of like a good housekeeping seal of approval almost. And again, it's almost like a new problem. We're not complaining, but it's, to get funding and support for these kids to be able to go on to these opportunities they've worked so hard for. And one of the fundamentals of the clubs is that they give back, and that they do for others and their communities. And I just appreciated this note from that Procedure shared with me from one of her club members. And it said, "Good morning, sis. The Girls Time Club has helped my family in so many different ways and has taught me to give back in my community. Just as a result, I would like to offer my services to volunteer and work by your side as we uplift the club high. If there is anything that I can do, please let me know. I would like to be an intern. It is my desire to help and see the girl child gain confidence. And I will come to you with an official proposal after my exams. Thank you so much for all the teaching I've received. God bless you." So yeah, I hope you can see that what the mentors are instilling in those in their club and see the ripple effect going out. So Procedures is she's so grounded and so she's there helping other mentors, you know, and we went on a road trip down to Huengue National Park, a community right by there, of some people who are very interested in this. And again, and so we went down. They were so hungry for this. So, you know, you kind of have to know how serious are they, and our resources are so limited. So a lot of times it's just the support that we can come alongside and share that model. But she gave the overview to Tikobani, which is now Tikobani, who is one of our core clubs. And she did just such an amazing job presenting the model and explaining it all. So if you haven't seen it yet, I encourage everybody to go on the website, or you can look in chat. I think Devin might put it up there on our YouTube channel, that we were blessed to get some funding last year, you know, to make a little film, and it's focusing on Procedure and her life journey. So it's very inspiring, and it talks about mentorship and our approach. So I really encourage you to watch it. It's like 10 minutes long. I think you'll see here, when you've got great mentors, they're innovative, they're passionate, and they just have that something special. You know what comes from that. They are listening to the kids. They're seeing the kids. They are helping them rise up and get on that pathway so they can break out of poverty. You've got here a picture of two of the girls who are now nurses and able to care for themselves now economically. So we shared the secret sauce, but now I'm going to share the recipe, which I hope you've been able to figure out. You know, if you provide opportunity and you have a basic framework, and we really worked together on creating this framework, but we provided support and we gathered. And if you mix that with passion, a caring heart, and some oomph, what do you get? You get impact. And one of my greatest joys, besides seeing these mentors rise up, I mean, to me, that's a success and impact in itself. But to actually get to see in front of your own eyes, my own eyes, kids being that first in family, breaking out of that cycle of poverty, having the confidence, being on a path to have a life of opportunity. And I'm just so grateful for this whole community. And that's what it takes. It takes donors who can appreciate this approach. And it takes this community that gives so much, but receives so much. And I'm just so, I know for me and what I put into this, I couldn't be more thrilled by what we're seeing. And a big part of it is that we have invested in local people. This is not a top-down program. It's about going in, coming alongside, providing support that they rarely ever get to have. They are crying out to help their communities. And so you come alongside, you provide the support, you become a community, and it's amazing what's happened. So thank you to everybody for being part of this journey. And really, together we are breaking the cycle of poverty, and it goes one youth and one club at a time. I'm going to hand this back to Wendy if her load shedding allows her to take that.
There we go. Thank you so much, Priscilla. I invite you, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, want to know something more, if you got some comments, now's your time. If you got something you'd like to share.
And we do have Nika on the phone, on the line, and other mentors, but you just met him, so feel free to ask a question. And we also have Piera from Madagascar. That's amazing, amazing.
Yeah, we got a few mentors on the line. We've got Procedure, we've got Gloria, Prosper, Nika, Rachel, Sunga, Pereira. So this is your opportunity. If you want to know something more about our clubs, here's some mentors to answer those questions. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone's got something to say. Nika, do you have something you'd like to share with us? How's it going at Sisonke?
Thank you, Wendy, and hi, everyone. So I don't know where to start from, and I think Priscilla had said so much, but let me just talk about the issue of the journey that we have walked, with GSGC to where we are. So the most part that I like about this work is that when I started in 2012, when I started working with GSGC, like I entered into that room that was full of ladies, and I didn't know what that was. And in the back of my mind, I was asking myself, what am I putting myself into? What is this? So it was sort of something that was not culturally proper. It was more of something that, as an African man, you don't do. You spend a lot of time with women and talk about women empowerment, which was actually, not properly defined in our communities as something that, women are trying to usurp power from men because men are more superior than women. So it all started from there. But, after the deeper, look into it, when I did my research, just to make everything, a summary, I found out that that's where actually community development is in. Gender equality or women empowerment is more of a developmental factor rather than something that should threaten the ego or the dignity of men. So this is how it all started. And today when I look at it, this is how far we are. So I thought, no, the best way, I cannot learn it by myself. This is why I said, I think we need to introduce the boys, because from my boyhood, I was never told, I was only told that women are of lesser value than men. So, and this has been affecting our communities. So as a way of trying to plow it back to the community and maybe to make it a ripple effect, I decided, no, let me begin to bring in the boys on board. And this is what we have been doing. And we are realizing that some of the boys are rising up, especially in the group of alumni, where we are more likely to have a ripple effect, some other men that will be like Nika and start affecting other boys. And I think that is bringing healthy communities and breaking the cycle of poverty. So I'm super excited to have seen the journey that I have walked. And I didn't know that Priscilla was recording all that journey. To me, it looks like, I don't know, this was me, but I think I was being driven by a certain passion that was pushing me to say, you can do it. Because from the start, it was like an eye opener to see, how we have missed it, in an African community, how we missed the opportunity to break the cycle of poverty by actually living almost the 60%, in the economic involvement in order for us to develop our own community. So by bringing in, women or girls on board, by empowering them, it's actually community development on its own. And this is what has been burning in me. And this is what keeps me moving, because I've seen change, and I can touch change, and I've seen impact, So yeah, so this is what moves me. So I would say, it's a good journey. It's an exciting journey. And I'm so much excited to say right now, as a network leader, that we will actually be steering more mentors also, impacting this, the passion to push it to the other mentors, and we have more wings, create more of the process of the ripple effect and affect more people as we develop our communities. Yeah, I think, Wendy, I can say more, but let me just leave time for, maybe there could be questions and others would want to comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nika. Does anyone have a question for Nika that they would like to know more about and what he's covered?
And also for the mentors to say something too.
Sure.
Okay.
Ava's got something. Ava would like to say something. Go ahead, Ava.
Oh, thank you, Nika. It's so wonderful to hear you speak, because that's always a question of mine, is how it doesn't work unless men and boys are right alongside us, creating equality and respect for leadership of women and girls. And I was wondering, what challenges do you face in doing this work? Do you get pushback from perhaps your peers? Do you have a struggle in it as well with your community?
Thank you so much for that question. I know that question always pops up, when I talk about this. And the thing is, when we started, it wasn't a smooth course, because the issue is we are trying to go against a cultural belief that really runs deep. So what we did was, within the GSGC model of running the clubs, we have the fundamental, what we call it, the community buy-in. So we invested a lot in community buy-in. So what we did was we started having meetings with traditional leaders and explained our faith, what was our faith in terms of trying to bring this change to the boys, or to go against this cultural belief, the advantages. So we started by mobilize the community traditional leaders. And then we actually spoke to them and explained what exactly this looks like. So that is the point where it is tough. So we started buying in amongst the community leaders. Within the community that I work, we have 9 villages, and there's only 2 women, and the rest of the 7 are men. And they're trying to buy. So we already had a vote of 2, and the rest we're trying to convince them to say, believe this. So it was each year, we did the meeting with the support of GSGC to be able to gather the traditional leaders and help this community buy in. And the way we are right now within the community, they have started buying in. So the other aspect in terms of my peers is the issue of, I've tried to prove that this thing really works, because I believe role modeling is the key thing. So me and my wife, she's an empowered woman, and then she's a teacher, and she has got this decision making. She also goes to work, and also she brings in income. So you see, when you have a wife that works and you also work, it simply means the standard of living of that family is raised up. So within the community, in terms of my personal development as a family, I've already shown this as an example that this comes when both parties, male and female, come together, especially in a marriage relationship, and allow each other, giving each other rights to do whatever they want to do, opportunity they face in life. It simply means the key thing is they're going to have a higher standard of living. So it was a long walk with challenges, but we had to live and prove that it works. And then this is where we are today, and everyone admires the life. And that's how we did. But so this is how we fought these challenges. Yeah. I hope I answered that.
You did, and thank you. And it was worth being part of this meeting today just to hear you share that. Absolutely. Thank you.
And
You're
Nika's
welcome.
going to be traveling in a year with one of her two sons, and we'll be coming to Vic Falls.
So excited.
Is that you, Anne, having something to say, or is it
This
Al?
is Al, Anne's
Hi,
husband.
Al.
I do have something to say. First of all, Nika, hello. I met Nika in 2014.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear your voice. Just a comment. As I say, I met Nika in 2014. It was one of the early gatherings of the mentors where they came together and learned from each other. And one of the things I picked up there was a little bit of, what's the word, scarring or apprehension that they had seen people come in previously and they're there for a year and, bring in some coats or, build a building and they disappear on them. And, I think that's one of the values, an important value of the Giving Circle, which is the staying power and the fact that, you didn't just breeze into town and say, hi, oh, this is cool, and disappear forever, but rather you stay there to offer the support that the people hope to get. So, I was just reminded of going the whole way back to 2014 and the fact that the Giving Circle is still here and still supporting people. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Suzanne's got a hand up. Do you want to go ahead, Suzanne?
It's just a question for Nika. Nika, I have always been fascinated by the decision that you and Prosper, and I guess Talent have made within the Sisonke clubs to allow your girls and boys to practice role reversals, doing things which traditionally the opposite sex would do. Can you explain a little bit about what goes on in Sisonke? Baking,
so much.
gardening,
Okay.
etc. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Suzanne. So this is how we approach our, so when you're working with youth or with boys and girls, usually you have to be creative. And this is one of the fundamentals that we have as GSGC in our GSGC model. So we use something that is more creative. So boys, usually cooking is a feminine, is culturally feminine, house chore, while gardening is more related to the boys. So, however, what we do is I did tourism and hospitality management, which involves catering and the baking part of it. So I use that skill to do the baking program with the boys and with the girls. So and Talent is so much passionate about the garden. She is an outgoing person in the garden. She likes this challenging stuff out in the garden in the sun there. And yeah, so which is culturally believed in Africa as a masculine a task or chore. So what we do is we separate, we then role model that when I am in the kitchen working with the boys, and then talent is out there, you know, working in the garden. So what automatically happens is that the girls, you know, they will have to follow her. And through that, it becomes a modeling to say, you can also do other things that have been, where barriers have been put to say, this is for men and this is for women. You know, you can actually start breaking those things that have been bringing limitation to the girls. So it actually, you know, opens a door of empowerment. It actually defines empowerment on its own as girls begins to rise up and show up. And also it brings a teaching to the boys that there is no designated, you know, gender roles. You know, we have to help our sisters at home, you know, and by doing that, you can help your sister, you know, it's because the setup has changed. You know, we used to be in the olden days. If you look at the history of gender roles, it was created by a social setup. But right now, the social setup has made, you know, a 360 turn around, you know, so where you will find that the setup itself no longer allows that. Anyone can do any household chore. So we teach it through some practical things that they can see and associate and relate with. Yeah. So this is how we approach it. So that's what we do at Sesonke in order to motivate the boys. And we have heard so much testimony from their parents. You know, they call us and say, what did you do to our boys? They're always in the kitchen telling, Mom, sit down. I want to cook for you. I want to bake for you. To us, we look at it as a goal to say, okay, we are achieving our goal, you know, where we are saying no more gender roles that were set, which were relevant in the old society in Africa. But today they are irrelevant because we are living in a different setup on its own. So we see this transition and movement. So it is working. So this is why we are so this actually makes us to move on and to keep going and to keep doing this work. Yeah. Hope I answered you, Susanna. And
oh
yeah,
my goodness, thank you so much, Nika. But I've never yet tasted your baking. I have to come back to do that, right?
Please come back again and test that. You can ask Priscilla, ask Wendy. I think you have to come back.
Okay.
Not
Devon
me.
too.
You haven't
Devon
given me
knows
any of your
the
baked goods. You know, thank you so much for your contribution, Nika and Suzanne, Ava, for your great questions. We're reaching the top of the hour, and I see there's 2 hands raised, Paul and Gloria. We got 2 minutes left. Can we make it very quick?
Thank you.
Paul, just
yes, please. I'm so grateful to be. Yes. I'm so grateful to be in this platform. We experienced the same with Nika. In Maasai community, we have a lot of challenges in divination of the role of girl child and boy. And for us, we have a challenge of the entire community on the perspective towards the girl's child. And actually we have the biggest challenge of FGM. For us, we have that problem as a youth problem. We are facing to control and maybe to educate our girls, to make them know their rights and also to fight for their rights. And actually, it is a big problem. For me, I'm so grateful to be in this platform where we can discuss the issues of the community, which are affecting the child girl and boys and both in the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your the work that you're doing in East Africa. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a minute to top of the hour. We're needing to wrap up. We got another question. So what we're going to do is we're going to officially end the call and do the end the recording. If you'd like to stay on, you're welcome to stay on and chat some more. If you need to go, you're most welcome to go. And thank you. Thank you so much for participating today. It's been a wonderful learning experience for me as well, and I've been around for so long. Great great contributions from everybody on the call. Thank you very much. Okay. You're going to end the recording, Devon.
Yes. Should we do a wave goodbye for the end of the recording, and then those who want to stay can stay?
Sure. There we go. If you want to do your waving goodbye.
And I want to hear from Gloria also. She has,
Yeah.
just so everybody knows, she has just started